Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 433rd Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, May 19th, 2022. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the Public Teachings in English. My name's Rick Crammond, and I'll be host here once again on these weekly Knowledge Seekers workshops, bringing you the latest in teachings in plasma technology with Mr. Mehran Keshe of the Keshe Foundation. And I believe he's ready to go for today's workshop. Hello, Mr. Keshe.
Good morning, good day to you, as usual, wherever you listen to this series of Knowledge Seekers of the Keshe Foundation, the Spaceship Institute Teachings and Knowledge Share. We welcome you back for 433 times in this series and many more in other parts in sharing knowledge. And hopefully we learn a little bit more, we share a little bit more, and with it, we establish new ground. The intro today brings a very fundamental point of discussion for us now that we are ready and we are setting up the systems for flight into space. Man has always seen the flight in the rockets and the spaceships and UFOs and whatever, the kites and air balloons. But man never considered that, as we said many times, he has traveled the span of the universe through the soul of his, what we call dimensional existence. When you come to Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute exhibitions in the next weeks, you will see the new space development. You will see travel through the soul of man. Rocket propulsion, UFOs, belongs to the dimension of physicality, limitation of time, space, speed, and the rest of it. Where the new technology brings a new dimension. Transmutation of the energy fields of the universe is the topic, the subject, the all understanding of the new technology. You still want to travel with your physical body to confirm you have, but you deny the travel of your soul. That was a dream. Something happened, something I felt. We have become so materialistic that even we lie to ourselves in what we do internally. We call it a dream. In a way, we have forgotten about the captain of the ship, and we sit with what we call the pirates, the physicality of the man. The new space technology that many of you have no choice but to interact with in the coming weeks in the centers of the Keshe Foundation is the new dimension in travel. The new dimension in existence of man in space. These systems are getting set up. These systems are not dream. These systems are not a theory. These systems are not what you thought one day. That day has arrived. You are part of it. You have become part of it. You have joined a revolution in science, in education of man and the universe. The new systems which you will endeavor to walk in will bring you that new dimension. Now you can put the body in a car to get to it, and when you get there, you take the soul and take the body with it when you want. In a way, you go to the airport to give your physicality to another man to take you where is predestined for you. Now you take yourself to the enhancement centers, and then you'll become the captain. Nobody can tell you where you can go, where you cannot go. The banking system controls you that way, what you can use and what you cannot use, and when you can. As one of our knowledge seekers was pointing out to me a few days ago, now you have no banking system. You have no limitation of which airports you can land. Do you have a visa? Do you have a passport? You're an immigrant, you're a refugee, and the rest. In the next few days, in the next few weeks, as we develop these technologies and we assemble the reactors for the space development in the level of the fields of the universe, mankind has no choice but to face the fact. The new era in the cycle of the knowledge of the man has arrived. We have taught you for years in the fields of making gases and the rest of it. Now, we go back to what I emphasized over and over for past years. Be happy with your maglev systems, where you can physically touch them. But be happy with the fields which your maglev system makes that allows you to travel the span of the universe. We gave you the universal generator and you got stuck with a few voltage and amps. Now we have put these into operation. We have brought the knowledge of the teachings in past decades into operation, that man has the capability to fly through the dimension of the strength of the soul of the man, or what we call the plasma of the existence of it. When you have the sun does not shine anywhere in the solar system, unless it comes and interacts with another field, that the interaction of the two manifests the existence of the earth, the moon, the rest of the planetary system. So is the soul. The soul of the man shines, and when it comes with the interaction of the solar physicality in the dimension of the inertia and the magnetic gravitational fields of this planet, manifests itself as the embodiment of the man. When we take the sun away, that has no fields to interact, there'll be no existence of the earth, the man, the moon, because it cannot interact with, because it never came from the source that it was supposed to build it. Now you become that sun. In the new dimension, you decide in where, which position in the universe or in the dimension of the interaction of the fields with the others, you manifest yourself as Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Then it comes to us to understand, would my field interaction in this environment manifest as me as a man, and the other position in the same solar system, I behave like a plant and a tree because the field of strength is different. And in another dimension, I become the field of the plasma without dimension of physicality, or maybe singularity, and become an omni. The teaching has brought us to this point. And the reality is that the technology, the knowledge, the science of it exists today. If it's used the correct way, it will bring a new dimension. If it goes the way we see that the Iranian government, through Sepah and the Revolution Guards, are developing what they call nuclear magnetic plasma weapons, man will see the end of his life cycle, the demise. I explained this to the American ambassador's office yesterday, and we make it very open. The new space technology, the new understanding of the plasma technology is and will be enforced by the Keshe Foundation across the world. Because if we allow the Iranian government with a new, what we call plan to develop the plasma enhanced using the Keshe Foundation technology, will bring the demise of nations. I warn the Iranian government to withdraw from such a research and development. The whole purpose of the evolution of the soul of the man is to make man peaceful. We have to understand, we have to be aware that we brought the knowledge for a peaceful application and not the conversion into a weapon. I have a signed agreement with the Iranian government, signed and sealed by the Parliament of Iran, that technology of the Keshe Foundation will not be used for weapon technology. And the soul of the knowledge will not allow that. We have to understand, when the man is tied up to a corner and the other one has the tool, they compromise. And we see that in the past few weeks, and the knowledge and what we call the development of the soul of the man through the Keshe Foundation has to be kept entirely and in totality for a peaceful application. I warned the American ambassador's office yesterday, directly to the ambassador, American ambassador to Vienna. Be warned of new structures which will use the Keshe Foundation technology, which should not be used. But the desperation of the time of the Russian government and the push to achieve the annihilation of the state of Israel with the pressures on Iran will bring the two devils together. And this will become extremely dangerous for all of us. We have to understand. We have to allow in the new few days that the new space technology developed by the Keshe Foundation to come into operation as a flight system has to be and need to be, and it must be completed as the Keshe Foundation team is doing as speedily as possible, that we change the course in a very, what we call, neutral way that all nations have the benefit of it. As I said, we do not need landing in space. We do not need flight, what we call landing position. We can be in the center of a stone and take flight. We can be under 3 blankets and 2 beds and 10th floor under the water or in a deep mine. We still go to sleep. We still dream, and we allow the soul of the man to travel the span of the universe. This is what the new space technology, which is in the hand of the Keshe Foundation scientists and is becoming to its assembly point, is. Does not matter where we put the enhancement unit, in the center of a star, in the center of a stone, in the center of the brain of the man. Man will be able to travel the span of the universe the way he has done in the dimension of his soul. This is part of the totality of understanding of what we call new era in the dimension of what we call present existence. Today, I brought this subject up because we understand that the interaction of the fields of the plasma creates a dimension of existence. It brings what we call a new structure in understanding of the knowledge of the universe. We have to be able to understand. It's not the old time that we bring someone to interpret our dreams. What does it mean? We have to understand we create that dream. We are in charge of it. We are responsible for it. We see it and we implement it. My dream is peace on this planet and beyond, and not achieved. Your dream is to have a warm food sitting next to your mother. You have to be able to achieve it. Now that you know you're the creator of it, you call the mama and say, Mama, I'm coming home, cook me something, I want to eat with you. Now you used to do it and you do it on a mobile phone. But this mobile phone does not work. Mom changed the dimension of physicality years ago. Now you have to communicate in the dimension of the soul of them. Now you understand even why we brought the communication, the way you call it, mobile phones, internet, for you to gain trust in the knowledge that you can communicate without standing next to each other and from different positions in the planet, because now you use physical materials. Now you have to learn, you have to accept the new dimension that the transportation and communication in the dimension of the soul has no mobile phones and no internet. It has no servers and it has nothing else, because all of it sits within a dimension of the fields of the universe. Mankind has reached that point. Mankind has no choice but to start using what I call the soul mobile. And at the same time, the problem with the new dimensions of your mobile phone is you can carry the voice, maybe sometimes the emotion in reality, but it cannot carry the physicality to be there to enjoy. Now, with what I call the transportation and transmutation of the soul, you can do that. You have the capability to send the voice and the physicality together to enjoy the time, the space, and what we call the joy of existence in the dimension of the creation. The new enhancement unit, which are coming into operation, are set in pairs, in twos, that we can even transmute one soul from one to another to confirm the transportation and transmutation of the fields of the universe. You have noticed in a lens exhibition, we have two sitting next to each other. One in the dimension of the soul of the man, and one in the dimension of physicality, of transportation, transmutation, of the transfer of the fields into matter state. In the coming time, we'll fly from depth of the what we call Earth, not on the landing strips of the airport. In the past 2 years, as I traveled around, I've seen airports empty. We are the only plane taking off and landing. This will be the situation where all the airports man has made in a very short time, because nobody will use them. We don't need aircraft to land. We don't need immigration. We don't need passport control, because in the dimension of existence of the soul of the man, there is no borders, there is unity, and in so many, one planet, one nation, one race extends itself to one universe, one race of the Creator. This is where we are taking them at. If you stay in the dimension of physicality, you go with one planet, one race, one nation. If you go to the dimension of the soul, you become one creator. And that's all, as there are no nations. Now you understand how fast in the coming weeks the Keshe Foundation will take you to that direction. We will see opposition from the government to the work of the Keshe Foundation. We'll take the challenge of every nation as we carry the citizens, and the governments are nothing but elected by the citizens of this nation. The opposition to Keshe Foundation in a very short time will become immense by the governments who now see the loss of control of the central banking, borders, wars, and the rest. As you can go and see the uncle in New York, and together we will travel to Paris to have dinner with the aunt. No one can control, no borders, and we carry one currency in our pocket. The totality and understanding of the new breakthrough in science will be amongst you and is amongst you today. The reactors for space travel and technology is partially and in totality for their control being manufactured and is ready to be tested. We are not talking that they'll come one day. We told you for 2 or 3 years, for 10 years, the teaching, while we were teaching in the front, we researched and developed in the back. And now it's time to bring you to see it. We might not even reach the 6th of June. We might reach the 6th of June. Might go beyond the 6th of June. But the systems for the space travel are already set to go. But is the mankind, are the knowledge seekers ready for this change? That they can bring this change to the nations, to the what we call languages, and to humanity. In the next few days, when the first tests are carried away, we will see the change in the dimension of many world leaders as we will enforce the peace through the new enhancement units, which works through the soul of the man. We will bring a new understanding to the operation of the what we call one system. We will set these up, and in turn we'll hand over this to Universal Council and the Earth Council, that the soul of the two councils will bring the balance to man and in connection with the rest of the universal community. In so many ways, on my passing, the soul of the man will become the soul of the joint of this, what we call the Universal Council and the Earth Council, where the Universal Council is the soul and the Earth Council is the soul of physicality and the dimensional existence of the man. We make man to be one in the dimension of connection of the unified soul of the Universal Council. Now you see all the teachings, all the structure put together, now is coming together to operate, to be ready to go. You thought we set up the Universal Council for this and that. You thought we teach this and the soul. Now, in the operation of the coming time, they operate together, they unify together, and with it, we bring the elevation of the soul of the lives on this planet, be it the man, the beast, the tree, and the fish. Now you understand how cleverly we have brought the whole structure of the teaching, the knowledge, the science, and theology together. In the next few days, Keshe Foundation will take control through the soul of the operation of the Universal Council and the Earth Council to start the process of transmutation and enlargement of the what we call the dimension of the understanding of the man about his responsibility in totality for this planet and beyond. It's not anymore global warming. This is a global souls interaction to warm up, to understand the changes which has been brought for man. As I said, no being will sleep hungry, be it the child in the United States, be it the child in China or Africa, be it the child of a lion or a tiger or a fish. because the elevation of the soul is in totality, the knowledge of the understanding to receive the essence of the fields of the universe through the new understanding of the work of the universe by the soul of man will compensate for the shortfalls which this planet created for millions of years that push the man to kill, to absorb, to what we call replenished life, or the beast. The new enhancement unit for flight, which is put into operation, initially works with no physical dimension. The new enhancement flight unit for souls will be tested without enhancement unit physicality. Now they'll be tested. It is getting tested. It's getting set up to create that first. People in the foundation who are responsible for this operation, they're working on it. They're putting it together. When it comes to operation, we shall see enhancement unit with no physicality. We test in the dimension of the soul first before we bring it into the dimension of physicality that the man is happy to see it in something. One day, the Keshe Foundation will release the picture of these systems. Flight system without physical boundaries. Flight system which has no box. These are not theory. These are getting built and put together today by the different research teams of the Keshe Foundation. And you will see it in the coming time. Man cannot have physical dimension if the soul does not allow it. And would we see the point that the system will create its own physical manifestation? We do not teach this technology outside the Keshe Foundation research centers because the man is not ready for it. But we will show the effect of it, the work of it in coming days. As I said, you were looking to get into a spaceship. We were looking to get into dimension of the work of the soul. And now the systems for it are all set to go. This could be a shock to a lot of you, but this is what I came here for. To move man from the dimension of physicality into the dimension of the fields of the universe. But even with our knowledge seekers and research team, I take them step by step as they think they're doing it and encourage them and show them and push them to where we want it to be, where we want to gain access to that position that man does not depend in the dimension of physicality. It'll be fantastic when you walk into a space and not into a machine, and you can travel the dimension of the soul across the universe. These systems are already set, and the mass production on this is in progress. This is the first step for the man. Many of you, as a scientists and knowledge seekers, will develop this technology according to the understanding of time and the space of the man, his ultimate position for the universal community, and not just for man. As you become more aware of the knowledge of the universe, the knowledge of the physicality which is open to the man, we have called for the end of the religions, that no man can be abused. We shall see the end of all religions, because now man does not need a messenger when he has access to the totality through his own soul. We call upon Ayatollah Khomeini of Iran to resign. We call upon the Pope and the structure of Vatican to fold. We call on the Jewish leadership to close shop and bring all the theology to one, to understand the new understanding of the space technology. That now We all have access to the knowledge of the universe, and we do not need messengers, as the messengers are also in the dimension of understanding the fields and operation of the universe. When we wish it, we get it. And I wished it, and I will get it. As we all say, my wish is my command. It's time for man to evolve in the knowledge. It's time for man to enter the dimension of the knowledge of the universe. It's time for man not to be shackled, what I call, with the financial and the living structure of today. As I said, we still create the enhancement units. We still keep man busy with other things, and we keep man working, because what do you do if you don't have a job? But man should not suffer in that position and that space and time. We bring the changes in small steps, and those small steps, as a giant leap in the knowledge of the man, has started. Will not be surprised if you start seeing pictures and videos of the new, what I call, flight systems with no physical dimension. In the coming weeks, Keshe Foundation will release these pictures. In coming weeks, we'll show you how we had to use the enhancement systems to hide it. For you, for the world leaders, not to have the time to interfere and damage. The new enhancement units, which are about to be tested without physical boundary, in a way without what you see the shell, will start not only for the Keshe Foundation, but for the soul of humanity. The preparation for bringing that soul to the dimension of physicality, making the things for it to be done, was done 2 years ago in the Keshe Foundation. But step by step, we have brought it forward, that it fits the knowledge and people can understand step by step. We have created Ganses that brings that dimension of the plasma without the physicality of life. And now we apply it. We do not need astronaut to test. We do not need pilots to test. We have made structures, materials, sitting in the labs of the Keshe Foundation for 2 years, ready for this time. And yesterday, I made instruction and a structure for that test to start, where we'll connect to the dimension of the totality of the man as an independent soul, and it depends connection with the physicality of the man through his blood. Do not forget, all the beings on this planet are 99% the same, because they all came from the production of the gases of physicality and the amino acid of what we call the atmosphere of this planet. We see the time for all of you to start speeding up in understanding, if you want to be the passengers of the universe in the dimension science, which is going to hit the man, as I said last week, like a juggernaut. And I'll tell you one thing. This time, that juggernaut is the size of a spaceship. And this time, when it hits, there'll be no spaceship, but the understanding of the soul of the man that the passengers of the spaceship can still fly. It is the responsibility of knowledge seekers to speed up their own understanding of the operation of the soul, operation of the fields of the energies of the creation. As I said, and many times I referred to it even with what we call, Einstein could not understand when you turn one magnet or one electron, the other electron, or whether atom rotates. So you have to understand, when we turn the soul of the man to the new dimension, the soul of the physicality of the man will turn too and will be elevated to the new strength to keep the same position and dimension and to be able to manifest itself. And now, as you understood before, as we said, when the new strength in the evolution of the soul of the man comes, and the turn in that direction takes place, the soul of the physicality of the man has to change position and direction. And now you understand why I said that the physicality of the man in the coming time will change you the new understanding of what it is, the new teaching. As the soul evolves and strengthens in a dimension of position of change, soul of physicality will change with it, and with it will change the physical structure of the man on this planet. We will have no mouth to eat, we'll have no arms to kill, and we have no sight to see, but we'll feel the images and the feelings of this planet. The way we stretch the cells of the body of the man to make it transparent and make the eye of the man. Now we go back, that man can see without the eye. Can feel and create the dimension of understanding in the dimension of the soul of the man. I wonder how many of you have seen the eye of your soul. That is, seeing your mom and dad sitting having your food with you after 20 years of their passing. Hopefully, by the 6th of June, we'll break that breakthrough. You were waiting for man to fly to moon. 6th of June, I give you the systems that flies you across the universe. By 6th of June, we'll bring that change. It's the time to move from one to another to bring the knowledge to man. The systems for elevation of the soul of man, the systems for testing for the elevation of the understanding of the soul of humanity and the passage of this spaceship of the earth in its own village will start from the 6th of June and before. Collective soul of this planet will run this planet in a dimension of the systems that will be divided amongst you, that the balance of understanding of the knowledge stays amongst the totality, not in the hand of a few, that in the future they become the new priests and the religions and the rest of it. We close the door of abuse. The only way you can be abused is by yourself and your own conduct. Amalgamation and what we call emergence of the two sides of the Keshe Foundation, the science and the theology, which states the incarnation of the soul of the man through Universal Council, hasn't started and will take shape in a beautiful way. Is for you as knowledge seekers and the citizens of this planet to decide in which way as the totality of the soul of the planet, would like to take humanity and the passengers of this planet with you. Many of you thought Universal Council was a joke and just something to be. Those who betrayed it and those who were there for their own, what we call clandestine activities, all have left. And those who come to abuse it will abuse themselves. Because now it's not one anymore, but it's a totality, and that will keep the whole of this community of man intact and in check. In the next few days, when we test the enhancement units without boundary, you will come to understand the changes which we bring. We can take these systems to the depth of the ocean, to the deepest part of the minds of this planet, and still fly. We still allow the soul of the man to take wherever he wants. The way you can dream and sleep in the submarine in the depth of the ocean, or on the jet planes at the highest level the man can go in the space lab. There is no place for the soul of the man not to operate. And now we have created a system which creates that condition of the soul. And then you understand why we brought the creation of meter in the dimension of the soul and not in the dimension of physicality, and then we gave it the shape and the dimension of physicality. Be ready for the change. In the next few weeks, we make you more ready for that change to come. But we still carry on with everything else we do. Otherwise, we have nothing to do. Man has to be busy. And to make something or to do something. When you're on this dimension of physicality, move to the dimension of the soul, and the universe is your oyster. And you are the pearl in that oyster. How would you like to shine as a pearl in this beautiful giant oyster of creation? The teachings are taking a new dimension. The teachings will take a dimension that you can see. We showed you the gases, we showed you the what we call magnet units, we showed you the what we call dynamic systems. Now, in the coming days and weeks, you will see the light enhancement unit with and without dimension. And we'll see how the two interact between each other. The Keshe Foundation centers will be equipped with two of each, without dimension of physicality and with dimension of physicality and enhancement unit, and see what mayhem we shall create in the dimension of what we call enhancement of the soul of its visitors. How many of you will walk in as a man and walk out as what we call universal community member? Now you understand why and how we are pushing for this development to conclude as rapidly as possible, that the progress and the development can be to the benefit of mankind. I welcome you to the new era in the world of science and technology, in the dimension of the fields of the universe rather than the matter state of the universe. I hope you enjoy this show. We are now going to build systems for you. In front of you, without you knowing, we have built the systems for you. Extremely advanced, extremely capable to do everything. But it's you who has to tap into that knowledge, you has to tap into that energy and see the elevation of the man. The soul. The beauty of it is, with a new enhancement with no dimension, you can take 10 members of the Universal Council to be together, and 10 in that. And between the two, change the dimension of what we call the soul of the creation. There are no chairs in the new dimension enhancement flight degrees. Now guess how many souls will be able to carry each. Today, I brought you a breakthrough understanding and what is to come to you in the next few days and the next few weeks. Many of you brought changes, seen changes in past few weeks, in past few years, and past few decades, what the Keshe Foundation has brought in and what has become gradually part of the norm of the science. But now we bring a technology that does not exist in no science, and because of it and through it, we take the leadership in bringing peace and prosperity. We call on the nations to come to peace. Now we force nations to peace. But the whole of mankind has to be there for it to become peaceful, plus the citizens of this planet, including the animals and trees and the fish and the rest which we do not see. I hope you're ready for what is going to hit you in the next few days and weeks. And I hope you understand the gravity of what is being brought forward. One day, I will explain the reasons behind the choice of 6th of June. And then you understand why and how the whole thing is taking shape in that direction and dimension. Thank you very much for today. And be ready and prepare yourself for what is to come. Very much, Rick. If you'd like to go for a break and come back now and we go through the other parts of the Keshe.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. We'll be a few minutes in our intermission here, and be back in a few minutes. Just get things organized. There we go. Okay, this is the 433rd Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, May 19th, 2022. And as Mr. Keshe said, we'll have a short intermission and be back with a time period for questions and answers.